Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the greatest podcast I've ever produced myself. This is the State of the Nerd Union. We're once again joined by, the most reliable triumvirate. The triumvirate of nerds, the trio of nerds. Mr. I Am the Law, Trevor Law.
What's up, y'all?
The man who tried to take down this ship, Kenneth Ship.
I almost succeeded, too, if it hadn't been for...
Those meddling kids, myself.
No, this beer.
Oh,
all right.
And, of course, me, the originator. I'm Zach. Tonight, we're coming to you about a very special, near and dear podcast. Near and dear something to our hearts. Spider-Man. Okay, Trevor and Kenny are both giving me the eyes roll, so you know what? I guess it'll be just me talking about Spider-Man.
We'll talk about it. I'm saying it's not Batman, because that's not been thoroughly trashed the last year. Go ahead.
Yeah, because Batman's never been trashed at all. I'm looking at you, George Clooney. Thanks a lot. Anyway, right. Moving on. Clearly, by this point, you should have heard the news about a brand new Spider-Man movie, and more importantly, the bigger news, Spider-Man is being moved into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
It's finally happening.
The thing we never thought would happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think it would happen. Oh, yeah. I didn't think it would happen until the Sony leaks.
Which, by the way, since we're talking about Sony leaks, I do remember one point saying that if the Sony leak came out and we lost the interview and I never got to see it, but Spider-Man ended up going back to Marvel because of all that information coming out, I would publicly thank North Korea. And you know what, North Korea? Thank you. You just did all a favor.
And now we're on some NSA list somewhere. I'm quite sure of it.
Wait, we're all, I'm sure we got on there at some other point.
Probably from talking about the NCAP. What was it, Kenny?
No, that put us on the FBI list. That's
okay. Well, we got to hit them all. We're hitting all the list.
We've gotten us taken off an FBI list. It showing a level of incompetence that really shows we're not a threat to anyone or anything, really.
We don't even know what we're trying to take down.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's get back to the point. Spider-Man, right. People, it's going down. He's coming back. Kind of. So, let's go back to the original report. All right. Because it's a crazy, weird deal that's got a lot of minuscule details that have been coming out little by little that we're going to hit on. So, first off, Spider-Man will be appearing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep.
We know that for sure. He's coming in. Now, apparently, before this all came out, before the Sony leak, before all the emails, Marvel reportedly offered Sony billions of dollars to buy back Spider-Man. Billions.
Yeah.
Billions with a B.
Now, in this new deal they're coming out with, Marvel is not going to pay a dime to use Spider-Man in their movies. The way it's going to work that whenever Spider-Man shows up in a Marvel movie, Marvel makes that money. Whenever Spider-Man shows up in a Sony movie, Sony makes that money.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's going to work is that he's going to first appear in a Marvel Cinematic movie. That's all they've said. Now, it's heavily rumored it's going to be Captain America Civil War. And then he's going to get his own movie produced by Sony July 28th, 2017.
Yep. Which, that's not that long away. Like, they're going to start working on that movie soon.
That's only 2 years out.
Yeah.
Which, let's go ahead and talk about that next beat that happens with that. Because July 28th, 2017 was when Thor 3 was going to come out.
Yep.
Thor's getting pushed back to November, which was Black Panther's spot, and Black Panther's getting pushed back to after Avengers Infinity War Part 1, and everything after that's getting pushed back one spot.
Yeah. Which, I think that pushes back Captain Marvel and the Inhumans, I think, as well.
I think both of those will now come out after Avengers Infinity War is completely wrapped up.
Yep. So, I have no idea. I had no idea what they were going to do with the Ms. Marvel movie sandwich in between there anyway, but...
I didn't either. I wasn't exactly sure what was going to happen with that. So, the report further goes on to say that Kevin Feige who is the head of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's the head of Marvel at Disney, is not going to be compensated, but he's going to be producing Sony's 2017 Spider-Man film. So essentially, he's doing it for free.
Yep.
But they're going to get to use Spider-Man whenever they want to.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool. Yeah, and so that really it's a weird deal, and I actually heard in some random internet chat room the idea of Marvel and Sony working out a similar deal of that they just exchange property. That Iron Man appears in a Sony movie with Spider-Man, but Sony keeps all that money. Spider-Man appears in a Marvel movie, and then Marvel keeps all that money. And they get their nice little synergy bonus.
And clearly that's what this is going to open the door for, is that they can go back and forth in between. And apparently, right now in the lettering, Sony has the final creative say about this new Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah.
But with Kevin Feige as executive producer, or not executive producer, as a producer, because the old producers are now being bumped down into the executive spot.
Yep.
With Kevin Feige now in charge, you figure it seems like Sony's going to be more the whipping boy of Disney than being in charge.
I mean, honestly, I think that production staff's going to be at war with each other, to tell you the truth, because from the leaked emails, it was pretty clear that the people who were keeping a Spider-Man Marvel deal from happening was the people at Sony Pictures. The people at Sony Corporate in their corporate office, they were all for it, and they wanted it to happen. And so I think...
It was the Spider-Man producers that were stopping it?
Yeah, it was the people specifically at Sony Pictures, their movie division.
Which is interesting, because the head of their movie division has now stepped down.
Yep.
And she's also one of the producers of this new Spider-Man film.
Yep, but and she supposedly that actually doesn't have to do with this. That she just wants to make very different kinds of movies, and that she wasn't a good fit for really anything that they were moving forward. She wants to do like low budget romantic comedies and dramas and stuff like that. More power to her.
Well, so further on, there's a rumor going around that this big deal could be a step towards Disney acquiring Spider-Man incomplete.
Yeah.
It would completely get him back. Maybe this is a step towards it.
See, sorry, continue.
No, that was it.
And I really doubt that, because honestly, this is a really sweet deal for Sony. Because they get all of those nice creative minds and creative people from Marvel making a movie that's going to make money. And it's going to make a lot of money.
And that's the thing, is that there's another rumor going around right now, is that Sony, the larger company, was thinking about selling Sony Pictures because it's not been doing well for very, very long.
That's been the speculation for like the last month or so, is that this is all part of a way of go ahead and budding that relationship anyway, because they're fine with down the road that Disney might go ahead and scoop it on up. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sony Pictures.
Yeah, if Disney bought Sony Pictures, not Sony in general, so Sony will still make TVs and Blu-rays and PlayStation and all that stuff, but Sony Pictures, like Columbia Pictures, wouldn't make movies anymore. Yeah. Which means Disney would buy out not only Spider-Man, but James Bond, Ghostbusters, Men in Black, and 21 Jump Street.
Yeah. All very, very profitable franchises.
Yeah. But even if Disney...
last while.
Even if Disney didn't buy Sony Pictures, this deal right now, they might just go and be putting it out there before they put it on market in case Disney doesn't get Sony Pictures. And they get bought out by someone else. So that way the deal's already in place that Disney gets to use Spider-Man before someone else takes it over.
Because I could easily see Fox wanting to buy it.
Yeah, Fox would totally try to buy it up so they can put him with their individual franchises of X-Men and Fantastic Four.
And another company that would probably want to buy Sony Pictures would be Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. Because they're actually kind of in a blockbuster shortage.
Yes, they are.
Deficit.
Losing Harry Potter.
Like that hits their bottom line immensely.
And they are trying to change that with DC, which we'll talk about that at another time.
That's another point. That's
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But
If I had to speculate on the deal right now, though, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say the status quo stays. Let's say that Sony Pictures doesn't get sold and they continue on. It probably would get renegotiated so that there's some kind of profit share that's changed later on. Just being realistic. I think this is just let's get our foot in the door. Can we be mutually agreeable to this? Yes, and let's press on for like the next 4 or 5 years. And if I had to also guess, it's probably some contract things for movies that had already been planned out. Even though they pulled them back and are canceling some of them and reshuffling, I think there's still some contracts on the books that they had to still meet and be held accountable to. So that might be how they were able to work that out and still...
Well, I think the most important thing... I had a thought and I lost it. What was I saying?
Zach had a brain fart.
I just had a brain fart. I really did.
Thanks. What was the next news?
I got it. So the main thing was that Sony got a revitalized Spider-Man franchise. Mm-hmm. By coupling it up with Marvel, instantly there's a bit of credibility put back to them again. Because however you felt about the last 2 Spider-Man films, there was diminishing returns, which is never good in the franchise. The second one did less good than the first one. Especially when it's Spider-Man.
And I mean, and it was because there was 3 freaking villains in that movie. It was bloated. It was a gigantic mess, and everybody knew that this was supposed to be this movie was nothing more than a jumping-off point for a massive Marvel-style universe based around one character.
Maybe
because that needed to happen.
Well, I mean, if we want to talk about why we didn't like the last 2 Spider-Man films, we can do that. Or do y'all want to do a whole podcast about that, or we just want to hit it real quick?
No.
But I could say that. Really short.
Yeah.
All right.
Just origin story rehashed a little too soon. Like just real quick. Like Superman made sense. It had been a long time. Regardless of how I feel about Man of Steel, it was time to start that for a new generation. Regardless of how well that was done, Spider-Man just seemed too close. So while it wasn't a horrible first movie, it was just kind of eh. And we've already kind of said about the second one is just there's too many moving parts. They did hit Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. Like they hit all those check marks. Like great, but you didn't have anything else after it. So that's where the second movie fell apart for me. It's like I need more than just watching this little love story going on between the action scenes.
Now, if Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone want to make a romantic comedy, great. They should do that.
I think that's called their real life right now, though.
Oh, because they're so painfully cute.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Oh, did you know Andrew Garfield is 31?
Yeah.
Okay. So some people kind of belly aching about them cutting his contract. I'm like, man, but the guy's going to start. You start thinking a couple movies, and then he'll be 40. So I understand wanting to go back to high school.
Yeah.
For him.
Well, there's a point we haven't hit on just yet. Is that Spider-Man and Mark Webb, not Spider-Man, but Andrew Garfield and Mark Webb are out. They're gone. Yep. They're done. They are not doing anything with these next movies. Apparently, even before all this came out, Garfield had done something to piss off the bosses at Sony anyway. Apparently over at one of the Japanese corporate buildings, he waited to like the last minute to stand up before he shook someone's hand, and apparently that was a sign of disrespect. So, not exactly great corporate, corporate budding.
Was it an intentional thing, or was it I'm a dumb Westerner kind of thing?
Maybe both. I don't know. It's just something I read. But I think even more so than that, it's probably just trying to restart, refresh, get away from, what we just did, put someone else in the suit, and start over fresh.
Yeah.
Not necessarily reboot. Because here's the best part, is that if Spider-Man does show up in a movie by himself, or not by himself, but in a Marvel film before 2017, there's only a couple of them coming out. Clearly, he's not going to be in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Nope.
Unless it's a last-minute tag.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be in it.
No, I don't know.
And I don't think he'll be in Ant-Man.
No, because that movie's almost done. Like, I think that movie actually is.
They're already working on special effects, probably, so that's probably the last thing they've...
So the most logical choice is Captain America Civil War.
Yeah, I mean, it's a logical choice for not just timing, but for the freaking story. That there were 3 main characters in that storyline. Captain America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man. Like, they were the three most central characters to that entire series.
And going to that main event, that comic from 2006, 2005, 2006-ish, it was 2006. Tony Stark was in charge of the Superhuman Registration Act. Captain America was opposing the Superhuman Registration Act, very similar to the Mutant Registration Act. All superheroes must divulge their identities to the government.
Yep.
Unmask. Now, you don't have to go out in public and say it, but you have to say it to the government. Spider-Man was torn between and was initially on Tony Stark's side, revealed who he was, and immediately regretted that decision.
Yes.
Then found out that Tony was taking going to a little dark place. Bit of a dark place.
Well, it didn't really work out for Spider-Man on the outside in his own main series written by JMS.
Ooh.
Kingpin found out and immediately hired an assassin to shoot him, but kind of missed and he hit Aunt May.
Yep.
And we won't go down the route of what happened after that because one more day was not the best thing.
Nah, really wish that had never been written, but yeah, we'll go on.
So, film franchise. Last year at Comic-Con. Was it Comic-Con or was it D23? I'm not sure. Is that either one of the conventions? They announced Captain America Civil War.
Comic-Con.
Was that Comic-Con?
Yeah, it was Comic-Con.
So they had Captain America there, and then they had Tony Stark there, and then they brought out Black Panther.
Yes.
And Trevor, I think you have more opinions on this than I do, so go ahead.
Absolutely. And I was really excited that they were going to use Black Panther as a stand-in for Spider-Man. Like, because one, Black Panther is a really cool character.
Yes.
He's king. He's incredibly intelligent. He is very terrifying in combat. Just all around a lot of really cool things going on. He marries Storm in the comics. All around cool stuff. And at first, when I found out that they were going to be using Peter Parker, I was upset's not the word, but irritated beyond. I was really, really irritated because comic books have become, and like historically they have been, and the comic book movie genre has been exceptionally white and male. And it's getting old. Like, I'd like to see a comic book hero I'd like to see a movie where the main character is not a white guy. Like, that would just be nice. And so to have Black Panther, one of the most iconic black characters in all the comic books, as a main character and torn between Tony Stark and Captain America was really cool. But I'm hearing rumors that my complaint that Black Panther getting pushed off black character may not be a big deal at all.
Well, see, my initial reaction was, who cares who's black, who's white? It's Spider-Man. Push Black Panther out, push him to the back of the line again because he's what? Marvel's third Batman ripoff?
Use phrasing on a black character and pushing him back to the line.
Yeah. Ended.
Okay.
An NAACP comment, really. Like, that's,
Well, I didn't mean it like that.
not even near what that just was.
You guys make it sound racist, but I'm just saying, no one cares about a third-tier character
If you had
named
said
Black
that boy
Panther.
back to the line, then we really would. Come on.
It's not about him being black. It's about Black Panther being like the Marvel's third Batman ripoff, and we've already seen two of them, so we don't really need to see him. We need to see a good Spider-Man in Marvel. That's what I'm more interested in.
Man, I definitely do understand. And I don't want to like make it seem like I'm not excited to see Spider. I am excited.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, it was kind of a darn if you do and darn if you don't.
Yeah, it was.
If you got the rights to Spider-Man now, you don't include him in Civil War. It's kind of like, well, why aren't you staying true to the comic that you wrote? But on the other token, it's like, well, you haven't really introduced a character of color with the exception of Falcon,
Fury.
War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine.
And they're both sidekicks.
Yeah.
They went with the black Nick Fury over the white one.
Which is cool, but not a superhero.
True.
Yeah.
So.
And he'll never get his own movie.
No.
Yeah.
Do you have another thing, Mark?
I did. I had a point, and then you said something about like that, and I was like, Nick Fury. Oh, damn it, no.
It was hard because I immediately started thinking of Hasselhoff. He said he's never going to have his own
We
movie.
could have had Hasselhoff.
The best Nick Fury
in Marvel. Oh man, that would have been so epically bad.
Oh god!
Speaking of which, the old Punisher was on, and I'm not talking about the Thomas Jane one either.
The 1981.
Oh, what? Hold on, that movie exists.
You didn't know that there are 3 Punisher films.
Oh, I did not. Oh, I need
There's
to
one
find
from the
this.
80s with Thomas. No, what was it? Who was it? David Hasselhoff. No, it's Dolph Lundgren.
That was Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
Dolph Lundgren.
He's got a gun and he's just blowing people away.
Oh, that's amazing. That sounds awful.
He doesn't wear the skull or anything, so it's like barely a Punisher film. Kind of like the other ones.
It's just Dolph Lundgren murdering people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known it was Punisher if it hadn't come up across the top of the screen.
Really? It doesn't, yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Man.
Okay. So that was a tangent. We apologize.
It feels like Punisher, like Halle Berry's Catwoman feels like Catwoman.
You almost made Kenny get beer through his nose.
I know, that was so awesome. I wish I could have seen it.
Timed that.
I only make jokes whenever he's drinking.
Yeah. Oh no, we need to. Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
So, Black Panther is getting pushed to the back of the line. And actually, he's only getting bumped back one spot, which unfortunately, his debut movie, or debut on his debut solo movie, will now be after Avengers Infinity Wars. And Spider-Man will be coming out before it.
Which, my only big problem with I'm actually not, I didn't have a problem with his movie getting bumped a year, because it's still coming out. They've got a billion movies coming out. That's not a big deal. I was mainly more upset with him being introduced taking much longer.
Yeah.
Because he's still going to be in Captain America Civil War, but he's going to have a minor part.
It seems like he really will, because in Avengers Age of Ultron, there's all this stuff about Wakanda, it seems to be, and you see Black Panther's sister in it. Mm-hmm. It seems that they're still going the Wakanda route. Even his main villain, Claw, is in it.
Yep.
So, or we think it's Claw.
Yeah. I mean, it looked just like him.
Yes. It was Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
There were some parts of the production that got leaked, but there was a lot of stuff that got really close to the chest. Do you think they might have pulled a sneaky one on us?
And have Black Panther's going to be in Age of Ultron?
And I don't mean like as in a major role, but I also don't mean like an end credit scene either. You think there might be like a smaller scene maybe that they threw in the middle,
post credits possibly.
I think it would be a really good sleight of hand for them to do, to have Age of Ultron be like also Black Panther's origin story, but it not be an important part of the story.
I think that could definitely happen, since a lot of it's
all this
place
craziness is going on, and then there's this guy running around who's a minor character who just so happens to be Black Panther.
Or maybe we see the death of a king in Wakanda
Ooh.
that we don't know is Black Panther's father, because the Black Panther is a generational character.
Ooh.
That would be cool. That would be a nice. I would like
it.
Yeah.
So just ideas. I know it's like last minute, 2 months till it comes out, but hey, do that, Marvel.
Oh my gosh, is it only 2 months?
Yeah.
It's May 1st.
So it's close.
Dude, summer is almost here.
Yep. Even though it doesn't look like it outside.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Spider-Man. So, we think Black Panther's still going to be in Civil War. We think Spider-Man is going to be in Civil War. So, here is the report that came out today. Now, initially, they said that this is going to be the next chapter in Peter Parker. Everyone's thinking, okay. And they even announced 2 actors that they were looking, or they didn't announce it, but there was rumors of 2 actors being tested. They were both young white guys. They were like 19, 18. They were very young. They said they were looking much younger for high school age.
Yeah.
New rumors are coming out today. This is from, let me see, Jeff Snyder from he's from a website called The Wrap. He was on a podcast recently, and he says, I'm going to just read this quote. "This is not set in stone, guys, but I'm telling you right now, Spider-Man's not going to be white. Spider-Man's not going to be white. I'm 95% sure. Spider-Man's most likely going to be black, but there's a chance he could be Latino. 95% sure, not white."
Yeah.
So they're either going to be using Miles Morales or they're going to make Peter Parker black.
Which, I mean, there's nothing inherently white about the Spider-Man character.
No, he's a character that could be any ethnicity.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why he's the everyman.
Yeah.
Everyone, I mean, that was one of his main appeals, is that he had those problems that everyone had. Mm-hmm. He was that character who had the issues with getting a job and maintaining a job, getting a girl and keeping the girl, doing all the things.
Bully at school.
That's not an inherently white problem. I mean, it's something that could be taken for anything.
Yep.
Yep.
So, if they did Black Peter Parker, there you go. If they went with Miles Morales, I think they're going to more likely go Black Peter Parker, though, than they would Miles Morales, just for less confusion.
Yeah, because Miles Morales is not terribly well known outside of comic books.
Yeah.
And even though this is still just a rumor, because, like I said 2 minutes ago, they were looking at 2 white guys to play Peter Parker. And then all of a sudden today the rumor is out that it might be Miles Morales.
So, yeah.
But here's something that crossed my mind when I was at the gym today when I was thinking about this. Is that it seems to be a huge push for synergy at Disney for the Marvel characters. Because whenever Disney acquired Marvel, they canceled Spectacular Spider-Man and made Ultimate Spider-Man. They canceled Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and then they made Avengers Assemble, which was based around the cast of the films.
Yeah.
So there seems to be this push of synergy.
Yeah.
With everything happening in Marvel Comics, which I'm not going to get into the depths of it, but there seems to be like a big, possibly a reboot by the end of this year, that they're going to change everything. Because everything's going to get put, the Ultimate line is dying, which is where Miles Morales is from, and the main line is dying, and they're getting pushed together. We could be seeing a main Black Spider-Man as of next year.
Yeah.
And then if that's what it is in the comics, Disney's going to want that in the movies.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense.
Even if it's Miles Morales in the books and Black Peter Parker in the movies.
Yeah, they're still going to want to keep that visual similarity. Because, I mean, honestly, Ultimate Spider-Man, he looks a lot like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many episodes of it.
Yeah, no, he looks and really acts a lot like the Andrew Garfield character. Like, it's very similar.
Yeah.
So he acts like a cocky douche who's emo.
Yeah. But still likable.
Okay.
I found him likable.
I enjoy Amazing Spider-Man 1. Amazing Spider-Man 2, not so much.
And I actually think, I'll actually maintain that Amazing Spider-Man actually has a better, like Andrew Garfield's a better Spider-Man than old Sad Eyes, whatever his name was.
Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
I think the original first 2 Spider-Mans are better crafted movies, but I don't enjoy Spider-Man, the character, in those movies. If I could switch them out, then I would really like them. Yeah. And tone down Sam Raimi's little...
quirkiness.
Just a tad.
I did like that Garfield was much more quippy underneath the mask. It felt like Spider-Man more whenever he had the mask on. Which, I mean, to be honest, in the original Spider-Man trilogy was about 30 seconds of each film that Spider-Man actually had a mask on. As soon as he's like, get the mask on, 30 seconds later, oh, it's got burn off my face. I don't know what happened.
Oh, no.
Oh, look, it's Tobey Maguire again. It's me. Just reminding you who's under here.
Yep, because I need my FaceTime.
Because secret identities is a big deal.
Yep.
Which, there's something. Which, that's actually something in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, no one's got a secret identity.
Nope.
Everyone knows who everyone is.
Secret identities. We're just awesome. Like, and anybody who did have a secret identity after Winter Soldier definitely doesn't have one now.
Exactly, because they just announced everything.
Because I'm pretty sure Black Widow and Hawkeye, they had secret identities, but they were both agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so there you go.
Yeah. They might have had code names.
Yep.
You know, like, not secret identities, like, I stay home and I'm Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah.
She was just more of like always in the field. It was like her job, and her code name was Black Widow.
Yeah.
Same thing as Hawkeye. It was like he was constantly deployed.
Yep. So,
And then, I mean, Hulk, everyone knew who he was. He was just on the run.
Yep.
Iron Man, loud and proud, I am Iron Man. Captain America, kind of the same thing as...
everybody knew who Steve Rogers was, and Thor.
He had an exhibit.
It's far. Yeah.
Captain America had an exhibit
Huh.
telling everyone who Captain America was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Secret Identities is not really a thing, which is kind of weird. That's what all of Civil War is about.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what this Civil War is going to be about in the movies?
Yeah, and I'm confident it's going to be about who they work for, like what agency sort of runs them all. Which, are you talking about Agents of Shield? Are you wanting to bring up Agents of Shield?
But kind of. But I won't talk about the clip that got released out there that we weren't supposed to see. But we're really gonna have to go and rewatch the Marvel Cinematic. And I know we were going to do that in a future podcast, but we're really going to have to rewatch that. And when Ultron comes out, there's going to be a lot of things that make sense. Apparently, they've planted a lot of seeds about Civil War that we didn't catch. And there's going to be a particular scene that has an argument between Tony Stark and Cap that really will encapsulate that entire.
With Tony with
Yes.
Steve Rogers chopping wood.
Well, apparently there's one more. Ooh. Apparently that's a precursor, and there's one more that kind of wraps that entire thing, along with the other chaos that's happening in Age of Ultron because of Tony Stark and Bruce Banner doing their making that plan, that backup plan for if they were to ever be incapacitated or off planet, and
There's definitely no spoilers here because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But
I do. I know what he's talking
yes,
about.
I didn't know if he had seen the scene, so
I have tried to get into Agents of Shield twice, and I could not get past like episode 6.
I mean, the first half of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is rough. Like, I'm not going to... like, the first half of Season 1, it's not good.
I don't tell people to watch it.
Yeah, like, you would be better off just skipping it.
Just skip to the Captain America episode?
I think episode 12 is when it starts to get good. Watch episode 12 and then just keep going. And then it's awesome. Because, like, 3 or 4 episodes before the events of Winter Soldier happen, you're like, okay, I'm entertained here. There's good stuff. Then the events of Winter Soldier happen. You're like, okay, all right, I'm in. It's got me.
All right, yeah. I'll
because I thoroughly enjoyed the end of that season. Yes,
I'll make an attempt because I've tried watching Agent Carter. I watched the first episode of that, and I think I shut it off 3/4 the way through.
Yeah, no, I'm not watching Agent Carter. It's boring, boring.
Here's an idea though. There's another series coming out this year, TV series, by Marvel, and it's coming out on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Daredevil is coming out this year.
Oh!
And so they could have Spider-Man show up in Daredevil. And they could have Spider-Man fighting Kingpin.
And Daredevil could
Can
be...
they have him fighting Kingpin?
Yeah.
No, Marvel has the rights to Kingpin now.
Yeah.
So what does Fox still have?
Fox
Fantastic Four and Mutants.
has Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Which I don't want Fantastic Four, but I want their villains.
Yeah, we want Doctor Doom.
Their villains.
And Silver Surfer and Galactus. There's another point, is that we were talking about synergy earlier with Disney. And with this corporate synergy going on, they killed Wolverine. They're killing Deadpool, and they're canceling Fantastic Four.
Yep.
They're cutting out all the Fox characters.
Yeah, exactly. Because they want them back. They want to devalue the properties so that they can try to buy them back.
And now they're making a big push on Inhumans, and they're turning Inhumans in the books into just normal people who are discovering they have powers. That sounds really freaking familiar.
No, I'm not getting where you're getting that from. I never heard of any story like that.
Yeah, it pretty much in the way they're treating X-Men in the next couple of months seems like it's going to get pushed down too. Like they're going to turn it down into like just 2 books instead of 12. So X-Men is going to get a big lack of a push. Fantastic Four is gone.
Yeah.
Deadpool is dying, And then I was talking earlier about they might make Spider-Man black in both comics and in the films. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, and that's I understand why Disney's doing it. It makes perfect sense from their standpoint.
You don't want to keep filling them stories that you're not going to be able to use.
Exactly.
On the big screen, yeah. I guess I wonder just like, well, what's the strategy? I get that part of the strategy, but where does that link up to you actually getting them back?
I mean,
I think they could get Fantastic Four back easily. That's the one is if it bombs this year and no one goes to see it, which I'm praying to God it will, because it does not look and or feel like Fantastic Four. It looks and feels like Fantastic Four, like Dolph Lundgren feels like Punisher, like Halle Berry feels like Catwoman.
Yeah, I don't know what I want. A gritty reboot of Fantastic Four. That's
what we needed.
They're
At
like,
least it's not the found footage crap we thought we were going to get.
Yeah. No, there's only one superhero movie that I want to be a found footage movie. Only one. And that's Deadpool.
That might be hilarious.
Yeah. Because it'd be Deadpool talking to the camera the entire time.
who's holding the camera?
It doesn't matter. Deadpool
Agent
himself.
Bob from Hydra. He would be the perfect one. If Agent Bob from Hydra was carrying the camera the whole time. This is like from 2 or 3 series ago. Agent Bob was following from Hydra. Yeah. He was following Deadpool around all the time. Now, they could say he's from some other organization or to someone else similar to that, but his own little public whipping boy, Agent Bob. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Weapon X. He could be from Weapon X.
Sure.
Okay. I had one more comment on the Fox deal.
Okay.
I feel like the worst thing that happened, and this is gonna sound messed up, but if Days of Future Past hadn't done so well, it might have started leading X-Men, because X-Men was already going downhill. I don't care like as good as First Class was, but the rest of them hadn't been doing well.
Yeah.
Like X-Men Origins hadn't done well. X3 was
Yeah.
Let's see.
X3 did huge numbers. It didn't do well.
I'm sorry, critically it didn't do well. But then that's the point where the decline started at. And First Class was okay, but it didn't stack up price wise to the other movies that came out that year. It was good as far if you're going to like market as far as Fox, but it still didn't match up to the other movies that came out that year. But Days of Future Past, if it had bombed, would have been a really good blow to the credibility of them being able to justify holding on to it. But it being doing so well, which I'm really glad that movie did well and was able to reset the franchise, it doesn't really help Marvel in their case of trying to get it back.
I don't think Marvel is going to get back X-Men. It's not happening.
Not at least for another 10 years.
Because X-Men they're going to release 3 mutant-related movies next year.
Yeah.
They're doing Deadpool, Gambit, and X-Men Apocalypse.
Gambit is still happening?
With Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. And see what's worse about that movie is that it could be good. Because Channing Tatum has skill.
Actually, I saw Foxcatcher. I have to admit, he's not a bad actor.
Yeah, it could be a great movie, a very entertaining, fun movie. Yeah, and like there's so much stuff for X-Men that, like, if Fox says no, we want to do a Marvel style massive universe with everything tying in with the X-Men franchise, they can absolutely do it.
Because there are all kinds of spin-off teams they can do: Generation X, X Factor, the other X Factor, the other X Factor.
They've got 20 years worth of 30 years worth of movies on just the original X-Men and following those characters doing their own thing and then coming back.
And then they can go backwards in time and start it all over again. Because there's there's 2 or 3 more stories where they do that.
Yeah, like they've got X-Men will never die. Fox will run that. We'll keep making movies. They'll make like a good 3 or 4, then they'll make a bad 3 or 4. They'll get a new team and it'll keep going forever.
Which I'm waiting on the Old Man Logan movie. All right, I know we have Unforgiven already, but I want Unforgiven with Wolverine.
Which Hugh Jackman has said he wants to keep playing Wolverine until he dies.
So when Hugh Jackman is 80, we can get Old Man Logan
Wolverine until he dies. Like you will do an Old Man Logan movie.
They can recast.
We make an
Wolverine.
online petition for Paul W.S. Anderson to take over the X-Men franchise. And even Fox will have to admit how far, because he ran it into the ground. And then, and only then, will they let it go.
Okay, so when you said that, my mind immediately went to a Wes Anderson X-Men movie.
No, because that would probably be decent.
I mean,
Kooky.
Story of mutant heroes.
actually, I could totally see him doing like a new X-Men movie about the younger generation that's being taught by, Wolverine and Cyclops and everything, and it being like a weird, awkward generational kind of thing. With Bill Murray walking around as a professor.
No, Bill Murray is a bad guy. Like Bill Murray is the villain of the movie. He's just trying to out the school. Like it's not really like he's not a really terrifying villain. He's just trying to out the school. It's a school for mutants.
Owen Wilson's got to be in there somewhere.
Well, yeah,
Luke
both
Wilson.
the Wilsons will be in it.
Yeah.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow.
And Jason Schwartzman. He'll probably be some weird, obscure
We
character.
could make Nightcrawler and he could be pissed off about it.
North Star.
Oh, yeah. Weren't we talking about Spider-Man?
Oh, we were.
God.
We got the Fox kick, but,
Oh,
We were talking about the deal, so there's inevitably Fox.
Oh, I did have one more thing about the Spider-Man deal. We were talking about villains. So, everything's building up to Thanos right now. What could be after Thanos? I don't know. It's not like they got any big major villains lying around, like Norman Osborn.
and running Hammer.
Yes! He could take over S.H.I.E.L.D. and turn it into Hammer.
Yeah.
And then they could make a Dark Avengers movie.
Oh.
Yep.
And then Avengers versus Avengers.
I love this idea. Like
This is what Marvel pretty much does. They probably just have guys sitting around right now just coming up with these movies. By the way, all those movies I just said are going to come out in 2025.
yeah, exactly. And you know what? We'll still watch them.
Because they've already announced till 2019. They've already got Captain Marvel in Inhumans in 2019.
But 2019 is not that far away. That's only 4 years away.
Oh, yeah. It just feels like forever because, we're old.
We're old. Because it's 2015 now, guys. It is the future. We have hoverboards and Nike shoes that freaking seal themselves up.
They are coming out with that this year.
Yeah.
They're announcing it. They're releasing it. And if they don't give me a hoverboard, I will murder some scientists, all right? Some scientists are going to get murdered if you don't come out with a hoverboard.
So I almost launched into a theory as to why hoverboards exist in that timeline but don't in ours. But I restrained myself. Because
We're going to blame Biff, a.k.a. Fox.
Yes.
Or
Kyle Nelson. Either one. Any of these things.
Let's blame No, wait. Haven't we decided? No, our new thing is Max. It's Mad Maxing it.
No, that's when you're just trying to piss me off. It's just like,
okay.
Yeah. No,
don't worry, Zach. It'll get better. It'll get better.
It'll get better.
I still don't hate that movie, though.
Yeah.
You haven't convinced me to hate that movie.
You're still wrong.
I mean, it's a mess. I won't lie, but
you could still be wrong about it too. That's all right. It's okay.
that's true. Have you watched The Road Warrior?
No, I cannot get myself.
No,
to
it's
watch it.
really good. It starts off slow, but
I'm sure it gets really good. I'm sure.
I need to watch The Road Warrior again and just now like everything I know is thrown into question. If you hated Mad Max,
because there's movies I'm excited about this year: Avengers, Age of Ultron. I'm excited about Ant-Man. I'm excited about Jurassic Park. I'm excited about Terminator. I'm excited about Fast.
You're excited about Terminator?
God, hell, yeah, I'm excited about Terminator.
Terminator Genesis. Okay.
Is that what you were going to say? Final answer.
I'm excited about all these movies. Movie I'm not excited for, Mad Max.
As George Bush said in Robot Chicken, get me tacos.
There are weapons of mass destruction. No, sir, there's not. Get me a taco. Yes, sir, right away, sir.
All right, so we were talking about Spider-Man at one point.
Yes, Spider-Man, the man of spiders.
Yes, so anyway, this is the news that's come out so far.
Okay.
We're all thoroughly excited about it. Kenny's thoroughly excited about it. Trevor's thoroughly excited about it. I'm gonna tell Kenny how he feels because, well, he doesn't.
Well, to be honest, I'm more excited about it than I was when I started this podcast. So,
okay,
kudos to you two.
Sometimes Kenny needs to be told how he feels because he feels wrong.
Phrasing, jeez.
He feels wow.
Because he feels wrong.
I was gonna make a boss man joke, but we've already gone so far.
Oh God! If there's anyone still listening to this podcast,
apparently there are because our numbers keep ticking up.
Yeah, that's because I keep clicking on it over and over again to try to make us look good.
No, I was talking about the likes on Facebook. But yeah.
Really? Cool. That too.
That's exciting.
I hope you're all enjoying this because if not, we're doing this for nothing.
No, we had a good time. That's all that matters.
Leave a comment. Write an email. Tell me how much you hate me. We were talking about Spider-Man at one point.
let's just wrap this up. This is just.
I mean, seriously, we linked Spider-Man to tacos from George Bush and a Robot Chicken sketch. Yeah. So come on, we're doing pretty good.
And do you know why? Because Spider-Man is that relatable.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. So I'm glad you all listened to all of our thoughts about Spider-Man tonight and all of our ad-libs afterwards of our random conversation. You know what? We had fun, and I hope you did too. And if you didn't, keep on listening anyway.
Yeah. It helps our self-esteem.
Well, it doesn't matter. Otherwise, I'm going to keep editing these things for nothing. So, thank you for joining tonight. Spider-Man. It's happening. We'll probably have more thoughts as it comes out because they keep putting out press releases like crazy. But nevertheless, we'll be back with more thoughts, more jokes, and probably more ways of offending people. Especially all you nerds out there. By the way, Battlestar Galactica, the reboot sucked. I'm just letting you know. Anyway, so this has been the State of the Nerd Union.
Ending the cast like that.
This has been the State of the Nerd Union. I'm Zach. That's Trevor. That's Kenny, and we're out.